Hey everyone, geophysicist Stefan Burns here. We have a Kreutz sungrazer comet currently hurtling towards the sun, expected to have its perihelion, its closest approach, on April 4th of this year, 2026. And this is a very significant comet because it comes from the Kreutz sungrazer family, meaning it'll get very close to the sun. Its separation distance being calculated right now to just 0.005 astronomical units. The Earth-Sun separation distance, for reference, is 1 astronomical unit on average, so very, very close. And also, some of the greatest comets of all time have come from the Kreutz sun-grazing family. Well, C2026 A1 MAPS is special because it is the furthest ever detected out Kreutz sungrazer. So that indicates that's quite large. And while, yeah, now we have better observatories to detect these things further out, but still the fact that we detected it out so far in advance indicates, suggesting that it could be one of the great comets of this year, this decade, maybe even this century. That is certainly possible. Because again, some of the greatest comets of all time have come from this family, and this one appears quite large. Here we can see an example of the last significant Kreutz sungrazer comet that we had. This is Comet Lovejoy in 2011, the Great Comet of 2011, and this comet was quite large, but it became a headless comet. So there was this vaporization that occurred of the comet nucleus. It's not going to come back, but it did put on a show with the tail, but eventually it rapidly diminished with its brightness after perihelion. But you can see just how significant this Kreutz sungrazer was, and you see this acceleration come in. Remember, gravity is a potential energy, so it's getting closer and closer. It's accelerating faster and faster. So you have plasma processes unfold here because you have the critical velocity where elements will just suddenly ionize because they're traveling with a high enough kinetic velocity to just suddenly ionize, right? You have the actual energy of the sun, the radiative pressure and energy increasing, right? The solar irradiance is going up and up and up as you get closer and closer. You have this thing flying through the solar corona, which is made up of super high temperature plasma, millions of degrees Kelvin. So we have this coming in. Let's check out this video of C2026 A1 MAPS rapidly brightening over the past month or so thanks to Val Italo. This will be linked in the video description. But we see these measurements going back to February. That's the 8th right there, the 14th, the 23rd, and here is the 1st of March, the 5th, and boom, you see how much is brightened during that time frame. So that's really the key here, is that it is rapidly brightening, indicating as of this moment, right now as I film this, that this could be a great comet. It is certainly, as of right now, living up to that. Now, what happens from this point on remains to be seen, but it has been rapidly brightening. We can look at our light curve for it right here. This is the Comet Observation Database, and we see our light curve for C2026 A1 MAPS. We'll zoom in right here to see the most recent data. Here it is, again, back in January, we first picked it up, magnitude less than 18. Positive values go to negative values as the brightness increases. Every increase in magnitude 1 up is a 2.54 increase in brightness. So it's significant when you start to really scale up here in the brightness, going from 18 to 16, for example. So it's really getting bright. Now it's reached about the 11th magnitude, and it hasn't stopped. Now, it's also right now at a sun-comet separation distance of just about 1 astronomical unit. And if you scroll down here, we will see that that decreases with time, going to about 0.5 astronomical units there late March. And keep in mind that perihelion, its closest approach at 0.005 astronomical units calculated, will be the 4th of April. So you see that during this entire time frame here, for the next 20 days, it's going to cover half an astronomical unit, and then going from the 25th of March to the 4th of April, it's going to cover the remainder of that distance. So it's going to rapidly accelerate. Now, we have seen some interesting things with comets before in the past. Here we see an impact with a comet into the sun. And so we see this comet coming in, clearly quite a large comet, not the biggest we've ever seen, but a big comet. you start to see it actually spread out there as gravity rips this thing apart. It's on a direct collision course, and coincidentally, you could say, I don't think it's coincidence, but right as it impacts, we see this explosion out from that comet. This is coming in from behind the sun like this, and this is a far side coronal mass ejection like that. So it's not that this impacted on one side and on the other side you somehow get this perturbance. It's really coming in at this angle and then it's blasting off like that. And keep in mind the plasma aspect to this again. So it's fracturing and splitting apart, ionizing, becoming a large plasmoid. And the moment you have plasma, charged particles, they start to follow the magnetic field of the sun, because gravity is not as significant anymore of a force. So it'll start to route down the field lines, and if you have high particle flux through certain magnetic field structures, it can destabilize them and cause that latent energy to be released that was already bottled up there in, let's say, a plasma filament. So it's not that the impact itself necessarily was the final factor that caused like a meteor impacting the Earth. You see the Earth go like this. It was very likely the fact that it was a domino effect and that surge of plasma coming in from this comet spreading out over a distance, routing down certain field lines on the sun and destabilizing the electric fields there, caused there to be a release of stored plasma on that part of the sun. We also see that there was a planetary conjunction at that time, a superior conjunction with, it looks like Mercury there. That could be Jupiter though. It's hard to say. But regardless, we see with comet impacts to the sun, sometimes some significant space weather events. As of right now, the best ephemeris data is not suggesting that this will hit the sun, but I do think it's possible. At least I don't think we can immediately discount it. So keep that in mind. But regardless, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty big show that we get in April as a result of the current brightening trend. And just to go back to that one more time, here's our brightening data one more time. The one thing we want to watch for here going forward is we don't want to see sudden increases in the brightness. That would indicate that there was some sort of cometary burst of activity, and usually that means that there was some sort of fragmenting for the comet, like a large ejection of material. Now it's breaking up, scattering more light and showing up brighter. So if we want this to be a great comet, we want this slope of brightness increase to stay smooth and steady and not to have this big surge upwards, because that's indicating that that's basically breaking up. So that's what you're going to want to watch for as it relates to this. And if that does occur, then that reduces the likelihood of it being a significant comet. There are quite a few paths available to this going forward. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I'll keep you up to date on that. Here we see our 3D solar system view for C2026A1 maps coming in. I'll click play. You'll see how it accelerates rapidly for that perihelion. There it is, and then it flies off. And keep in mind that comets are, for many thousands of years being seen as omens of significant change, and in some aspects chaos. And so if this does end up being a great comet, you kind of wonder about perhaps April, because this is going to be as close as on April 4th, and just in general around that time frame, because we have this Kreutz sungrazer, could be one of the most significant comets in years, decades. Well, it's kind of making me look at that time window a little bit closer. And we do have some significant planetary geometry afterwards around April 20th or so. Multiple alignments of different planets and such. So yeah, C2026A1 maps as of right now is continuing to brighten. I think personally, just like kind of my forecast, I think we're looking at least at something like Comet Lovejoy in 2011. We'll have to wait and see, but the fact that it was detected the furthest out, the fact that it's still, increasing nicely with its brightness, I think we're looking at something similar to this at a minimum, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get more of a show. I do think there is a possibility we have some sort of impact with the sun. I don't think it's the highest likelihood. The ephemeris data is constantly getting updated with more and more measurements. It's indicating it's going to get very, very close, closer than the Earth-Moon separation distance. but not a direct impact. But until we have perihelion, you really won't be able to say, I think. So these are all the different possibilities. I will keep you up to date on all this if you subscribe to the channel. I've been your host, Stefan Burns, and what we cover on the channel is what's happening with the Earth energetically. We look at earthquakes, volcanoes, severe weather, geomagnetic storms. We expand our view out to the solar system with solar activity, space weather, planetary alignments, and planetary geometry, comets, interstellar and cosmic forces, and more. I'm really just interested in understanding what's happening here. I share that with everybody via my 2 channels. So if you'd like to stay up to date, then please subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, help the channel grow. Thank you all so much for watching. Wishing each and every single one of you well. Please take care of yourselves. I'll see you all in the next video.